Have you ever wondered why some men barely say a word and women remember them forever, while others talk for hours and leave no mark? The difference is simple: the right questions. Not small talk, not surface level, but questions that touch the heart, spark laughter, and open doors to her inner world. Today, I'll reveal 15 of these questions. Psychological triggers that make her associate you with deep emotions. And trust me, number 8 is the one that changes everything. Question 1. What makes you feel fulfilled? This is not small talk. It's not, "What do you do?" or "What are your hobbies?" This question cuts straight to the heart. When you ask a woman what makes her feel fulfilled, you're inviting her to reveal what truly gives her life meaning. The hidden dreams, the values she protects, the goals she silently chases. Most men never dare to go this deep. That's why their conversations vanish from her memory. But when you ask this, you separate yourself instantly. If she says helping others makes her feel fulfilled, you know she values kindness and empathy. If she talks about success, you see her ambition. If she mentions freedom, travel, or adventure, you see her hunger for intensity. And here's the secret: when she shares it, she doesn't just give you words, she gives you her emotional blueprint. And the man who understands what fulfills her becomes the man she cannot forget. Question 2. What attracts you most in a man? Most men think attraction is only about looks, status, or muscles. But that's not the full truth. Many women are pulled by invisible forces: confidence, presence, humor, emotional control, or intelligence. When you ask her this question, you flip the game. Usually, she silently judges men, but now she speaks it into existence. And once she says it out loud, her brain begins to reinforce it. Here's the secret: if you naturally show the traits she names, without bragging, without forcing, her mind quietly starts to connect those qualities to you. If she says confidence, hold your frame. If she says humor, sprinkle in light moments. If she says intelligence, guide the talk with depth, not arrogance. Never say, "I have that too." Let her discover it in you, because discovery is more powerful than declaration. And when she connects what she desires to who you are, you don't just enter her conversation, you enter her imagination. Question 3. What bothers you most in a man? This is a question most men avoid because they fear the answer. But here lies the secret. When you ask a woman what truly bothers her in a man, she gives you the map to avoid every landmine that has destroyed her attraction before. While other men blindly chase approval, you are listening, studying, and learning her boundaries. That difference is unforgettable. If she says insecurity, it means she once dealt with a man who doubted himself until it drained her. If she says arrogance, it means she craves confidence but without pride. If she says laziness, it reveals her respect for men with vision and drive. Every answer is a clue, her past pain turned into a rule. The trick is not to argue or defend. Don't justify what she dislikes. Instead, nod and validate her truth. "I understand. That makes sense." In that moment, you are not just another man. You are the man who listens, who reads between the lines, who learns instead of trying to impress. And here is the deeper truth. Attraction is not only built by adding the right qualities, it is protected by avoiding the wrong ones. When you show her you are far from the behaviors that repel her, you become the rare man she cannot ignore. Question 4. Who was your first love as a child? This question does something rare. It pulls her back to a time when emotions were pure, raw, and unforgettable. Childhood love is not about logic, it's about intensity. The way a glance felt like forever. The way a smile could light up her entire world. When you ask her this, you awaken nostalgia, the strongest bridge to trust. Most conversations stay stuck in the present. But when she talks about her first love, she shows you not just the woman she is today, but the girl she once was. That vulnerable side, the side that dreamed, laughed, and felt without fear, does not come out easily. And when she shares it with you, the bond deepens instantly. Don't interrupt. Let her relive it. Let her laugh at how innocent it was, or feel a touch of sadness at how quickly it ended. Then, guide it gently. What was it about that person that made them special to you? Or do you think your way of loving has changed since then? These follow-ups turn a simple memory into an emotional mirror of her present self. The truth is simple. When you see not just the woman in front of you, but the child she once was, you step into a place very few men ever reach. And that, my friend, is unforgettable. Question 5. When you were a child, how did you imagine your life as an adult? This question doesn't just open conversation, it opens her past. It takes her back to a time before stress, before responsibility, when dreams felt limitless. Maybe she wanted to be a singer. Maybe she pictured herself traveling the world. Maybe she imagined a family, a house, or a life full of adventure. Whatever she shares, it is her essence, the purest version of herself, untouched by fear or failure. When she speaks about those dreams, pay attention. You're not just hearing her past, you're meeting the little girl she once was, standing face to face with the woman she became. Sometimes her dreams match her reality. Other times, they don't. And in that gap lies the story of who she truly is. This is where you listen with calm curiosity. Ask follow-ups like, why do you think you dreamed of that? Or, do you still want it in some way? These questions make her reflect, laugh, maybe even get emotional. And in that space, she feels safe. Here's the secret. When you show interest in the child she was, not just the woman in front of you, you connect with her on a level most men never reach. And that, my friend, is unforgettable. Question 6. What's your guilty pleasure? This question is powerful because it does 3 things at once. It makes her laugh, it builds playfulness, and it creates intimacy. A guilty pleasure is something private, something she usually hides because it feels silly, indulgent, or even a little embarrassing. By asking this, you're giving her silent permission to drop her mask and show you the imperfect human side that most men never get to see. Maybe she admits she secretly eats chocolate late at night. Maybe she says she watches cheesy shows she'd never tell her friends about. Maybe she confesses she listens to a song on repeat when no one is around. Whatever it is, her answer comes with a smile. And that smile is the doorway to trust. The secret here is your reaction. Don't mock it, don't brush it off. Instead, lean into it with curiosity and play. Smile and say something like, "That actually says a lot about you." Or even tease lightly, "Careful, now you've got me imagining it too." These lines make the moment fun while also showing her she's safe revealing her quirks. And here's the deeper psychology. When a woman shares her guilty pleasure and you accept it without judgment, she feels something rare: comfort, safety, the freedom to be real. And once she feels safe with you, she begins to open more layers. This is where connection moves from surface talk into something unforgettable. Because in the end, it's not about the guilty pleasure itself. It's about the fact that she chose to reveal it to you. And that choice means you're no longer just another man. You're the man she trusts with her secret side. Question 7. What was your favorite toy as a child? At first, this sounds almost too simple. But here's the secret. Memory is emotion. When you ask a woman about her favorite childhood toy, you're not asking about an object. You're asking her to unlock a moment in time when life felt safe, free, and full of wonder. Maybe it was a teddy bear she carried everywhere. Maybe it was a doll, a bicycle, or even a puzzle game she wouldn't let go of. Whatever it wasn't just a toy. It was a piece of her childhood heart. And when she talks about it, notice her face. She will smile without realizing it. Her voice may soften. Her eyes may drift as she remembers. And here's the psychological power. She unconsciously begins to connect that warm, innocent emotion to you because you're the one who made her feel it again. Most men never go here. They stay on the surface, asking about jobs, hobbies, or daily routines. But you reached into her past, into her most unguarded self. That makes you stand out instantly. Here's the trick. Don't rush past her answer. Ask small, curious follow-ups. Do you still have it? Or, why do you think you loved it so much? Then reflect back. I can imagine how happy you must have looked playing with it. Nothing could separate you from it. This shows you see her emotion, not just her words. And in that moment, something rare happens. She doesn't just feel understood, she feels remembered. And the man who makes a woman feel that is not forgotten. Question 8. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done? This question works like a hidden key. It doesn't demand seriousness, it doesn't feel heavy, and yet it opens a door most men never touch. When you ask a woman to share the dumbest thing she's ever done, you're inviting her to laugh at herself, to drop the polished mask, and to show you the raw, human side she normally hides. Maybe she'll tell you about getting lost in her own neighborhood, spilling coffee all over herself before an important meeting, or sending a text to the wrong person. Maybe it's a wild story from school, or an embarrassing mistake she can't believe she's sharing with you. Whatever it is, it makes her laugh, and laughter is the fastest way to lower walls. Here's the psychological trick. When she laughs at herself in front of you, she feels free. And freedom is rare. You're no longer just another man trying to impress her. You've become the one man with whom she can be imperfect, silly, even foolish, and still feel accepted. Your role is simple. Don't laugh at her, laugh with her. Smile, lean in, and maybe even share one of your own dumb stories after hers. This balance makes it feel like a shared game, not an interrogation. And once the air is filled with laughter, attraction is born. Not because you dazzled her with words, but because you gave her something more powerful, the feeling of freedom. And the man who gives her that becomes unforgettable. Question 9. If you woke up anywhere in the world tomorrow, where would it be? This question sounds simple, but its power is hidden. It doesn't just ask about travel, it asks her to imagine, to dream, to step into a world without limits. When she answers, she's not just naming a place. She's revealing her desires, her values, and the kind of life her soul secretly craves. If she says Paris, she may long for romance, beauty, or art. If she says a quiet beach, she may hunger for peace and freedom. If she says New York, Tokyo, or Dubai, you see her ambition, her fire, her need for energy. Whatever she chooses, she is not describing geography. She is describing herself. And here is the strategy. Listen with calm curiosity, then reflect it back. Say something like, "That tells me a lot about you." Or add mystery. "Interesting. Maybe I'd wake up there too." Who knows what would happen? Without declaring it, you've placed yourself inside her dream. And the mind does not always separate imagination from memory. When she pictures that moment, you become part of it. This is more than small talk. This is co-creation. You're not just hearing her vision of the world, you're becoming a figure inside it. And once you live in her imagined world, you'll be remembered in her real one. Question 10. What do people always misunderstand about you? This is not a casual question, it's a mirror. Most people only see her mask, the version she shows the world. But when you ask this, you invite her to lift that mask and reveal the part of herself almost no one notices. And in that moment, you stop being a stranger. You become the rare man who sees the truth behind the surface. Maybe she'll say people think she's cold, when in reality, she feels deeply. Maybe they see her as strong, when she's quietly carrying hidden fears. Maybe they think she's serious, when she's actually playful once she trusts someone. Whatever she reveals, it is a glimpse into her secret self, the self she guards from the crowd. Here's the key. When she shares it, don't make jokes at her expense. Don't argue. Simply hold her truth with calm respect. You can say something like, "I believe you. I can already sense there's more to you than people see." That validation is powerful. It tells her she doesn't have to hide around you. And here is the psychology. Women rarely forget the man who sees what others miss. When you recognize the misunderstood side of her, you're no longer competing with looks, charm, or status. You're offering something rarer, understanding. And understanding is magnetic, because the world may see the mask. But you see the woman behind it. And that, my friend, makes you unforgettable. Question 11. When was the last time you lost control but liked it? This question moves the conversation into deeper waters. It forces her to remember a moment when her emotions overpowered her logic, when instinct took the lead, and she surrendered to something bigger than herself. Most men will never hear this side of her, because most men never ask. Maybe she will talk about a sudden adventure, jumping into the ocean at night, dancing until sunrise, or saying yes to a reckless trip. Maybe she will recall an experience where passion drowned out reason. Whatever she shares, it will carry intensity, and that intensity is rare. Here's the secret. When she tells you, don't interrupt. Hold eye contact. Listen with calm presence, as if every word matters. Your silence becomes a mirror, making her go deeper, revealing more than she planned. And as she speaks, her mind begins to connect that same feeling of surrender to you. The psychology is simple. We don't forget the people tied to our strongest emotions. If she recalls losing control and enjoying it, and you are the one who listens without judgment, her imagination begins to wonder. What would it feel like to lose control around you? That thought alone plants a seed of attraction stronger than any clever line could ever create. Question 12. If your life was a movie, what would the title be? This question seems playful on the surface, but beneath it lies something powerful. When you ask a woman this, you're not just making her laugh, you're asking her to reveal how she sees herself, what story she believes she is living. Maybe she chooses a funny title like Chaos in High Heels or Professional Overthinker. Maybe she chooses something dramatic like Fighting the Tide or Survivor of My Own Storms. Whatever her answer, it is never random. It is a reflection of her self-image, her humor, her pain, or her strength. Here's where you stand out. Don't just laugh and move on. Smile. Let her words hang in the air and then add, "Interesting, but my title for you would be different." I won't say it yet. With that one line, you create mystery. And mystery is the fuel of attraction. She will lean closer, curious, wondering what you see in her that she doesn't see herself. Psychology proves this. When someone feels another person is writing them into a bigger story, they can't help but pay attention. You're no longer just talking, you're shaping how she imagines herself. And once you live in her imagination, you live in her memory. Question 13. If you could erase one memory but relive another forever, which would you choose? This is not a casual question. It's a doorway to her inner world. It forces her into contrast, pain and joy, regret and longing. When she thinks of the memory to erase, it will often come from hurt, betrayal, loss, or failure. By sharing it, she is giving you a glimpse of the scars that shaped her, and that act alone builds rare trust. Then comes the other side, the memory she would relive forever. Her tone changes, her eyes light up. Maybe it's the happiest moment of her childhood, an adventure that set her free, or a love that still echoes in her heart. And you are there, quietly witnessing her most treasured truth. Here's the secret: you don't need to solve or judge, just listen. Let silence make her words heavier. Then ask gently, why do you think that moment means so much to you? That single line makes her open more. Psychology is clear, emotions tied to memory are anchors. And when she shares both her deepest wound and her greatest joy with you, her mind links both to your presence. That makes you unforgettable. Question 14. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? This question sparks fire. It pulls her away from routine talk and throws her into memories of risk, thrill, and freedom. When she answers, she's not just giving facts, she's reliving emotion. Maybe she tells you about sneaking off on a trip, jumping from cliffs, or saying yes to something wild and reckless. Maybe it's a story she rarely shares, filled with both laughter and danger. Whatever she says, it's more than a story. It's her nature revealed. Does she crave adventure? Does she like risk? Or does she prefer safety? Her answer shows you the rhythm of her soul. The key is simple. Don't rush. Let her paint the scene, let her voice rise, and when she finishes, pause and ask softly, "Would you do it again?" That line keeps the fire alive, because now she's not only remembering the past, she's imagining the future. And in that imagined future, you are there. Emotions always tie to people. If she relives adrenaline with you, she will connect that excitement to your presence. Question 15. What's the most important lesson you've learned about relationships? This question cuts straight to her truth. It's not about surface talk, it's about the scars she carries and the wisdom she gained from them. When she answers, she shows you what shaped her, what broke her, what healed her, and what she now values above everything. Maybe she'll say trust is the most important thing, because she once gave it to someone who betrayed her. Maybe she'll say communication, because silence destroyed something she thought would last. Or maybe she'll say independence, because she learned not to lose herself in someone else. Whatever her answer, it isn't random. It's the lesson written in her heart. And here's the power. You are no longer just talking, you are listening to the story behind her life. You become the man who understands. And in a world full of men who talk too much, the man who understands becomes unforgettable. Final words. Now you see why questions are more powerful than compliments. More powerful than trying to impress. Because words can open doors. But it is your presence, your silence, your patience that makes her step through them. Most men will never understand this. They will keep talking, they will keep trying, they will keep failing. But not you. If you've made it this far, it means you are ready to step into a different kind of power, the power of quiet influence. So here is your test. Drop the word awakened in the comments right now. That is how I will know you watched until the very end. Like this video, subscribe for more strategies most men will never hear, and remember, questions are the opening move. But you are the checkmate.